Okay, in this final demonstration, I'm going to update the cluster state manually by scaling up the front-end deployment from 1 to 4 replicas. Now, by doing this, the cluster state will be out of sync with the state as held and declared within the Cloud Academy GitOps demo repo. When Flux detects this configuration drift, it should repair it by resyncing the cluster state back to the state described in the Git repo. Okay, let's begin. First, I'll run the command kubectl get pods -n Cloud Academy to examine the currently running set of pods. And here you can see we have a single pod consisting of the Nginx web proxy container and the Flask app container. Next, I'll run the command kubectl scale deployment /frontend -- replicas equals 4 -n Cloud Academy, which will scale up the front-end deployment replicas from 1 to 4. This will cause configuration drift to occur. After this, I'll rerun the previous kubectl get pods command, but with the added flag --watch to watch any pod events that happen. Here, we should expect a number of pod termination events to take place, since Flux will trigger the cluster to resync itself with the state currently held and described in the Git repo, remembering that this can take up to 5 minutes before the resyncing occurs. Excellent, you can see the termination events happening now. I'll rerun the same command, but this time without the --watch flag, and, as expected, the number of running pods has returned to 1, as per the declared state currently held in the Git repo. Rerunning the same command again, you can see that this view has now filtered down to the just 1 running pod. Next, I'll scan through the Flux logs and search for the occurrences where the resyncing takes place by running the command kubectl -n flux logs deployment /flux pipe grep configured. Here you can see that Flux is internally using the kubectl apply -f command to reapply the declared cluster configuration currently held within Git, and that in this case the config map was unchanged and that the front-end deployment was changed, this addressing the configuration drift that we manually applied. Finally, I'll jump back into my browser and examine the current front-end deployment cluster config held in Git. As you can see, the deployment is currently set to have 1 replica, and it is this particular setting that has caused our manual scaling to be reset from 4 back to 1, and all thanks to the Flux operator kicking in and doing its job automatically. Okay, that completes the end-to-end GitOps demonstration. You've seen not only how to install GitOps using Flux, but also how to work with it in terms of making changes and observing how those changes are automatically applied and synchronized in the cluster.